Hello everybody, Namaste. Welcome to the lesson. I am A. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor of English, Government Degree College for Women, Karimnagar, Telangana State. And today's topic is word formation. Previously we have learned about vocabulary, how the various words have formed from proper nouns, and various stories about the formation of words and how various words have entered and absorbed into English language. Today we are going to learn the various processes of the creation of new words. Word formation is the process of creation of a new word, and there are several types of word formation. In our present lesson, we are going to discuss and the processes such as derivation, abbreviation, acronyms, clipping, blending, onomatopoeia, compounding, and also origin of some phrases. Now let us see what is derivation. Derivation is a process of word formation by the addition of one or more suffixes and prefixes to root words. Prefixes are added at the beginning and suffixes are added at the end of the root word to make a new word. A root is the smallest part of the word that carries the most basic meaning of the word. A root is what left after we remove suffixes and prefixes from a word. At a time, only one prefix can be added to a root word. However, there can be more than one suffix that can be added to a root word. For example, if you take a word happy, happy is the root word. We cannot divide it into further. So if you add a prefix, tell me any prefix which we can add. Unhappy. Un. You can add un. If you add an, what is the change it is getting? It is becoming a new word, namely unhappy. What is the meaning of it? Exactly opposite to the meaning of happy. So the entire meaning is changing, but a new word is created. And if we add a suffix to happy, for example, happily, happiness, like that, if we add ly and ness, happily is a adverb and happiness is a noun. What is happy? It is the quality. It is qualifying a noun. So it is adjective. So the adjective has become in happiness a noun, in happily an adverb. So the important aspect in the process of derivation is that it leads to either the change in meaning or the word or in word class. If you carefully observe, when we added prefix un, the meaning was changed. So it is changing the meaning. Happy is adjective and unhappy is also adjective. There is no change in class. Class means parts of speech. Noun to verb to adverb, like that. But when we added suffixes like ly and nes, the adjective happy became a noun in happiness and became an adverb in happily. So here it is changing the word class. Now let us see some of the derivational prefixes. Prefixes means which are added before the word. Anti. Words which start with anti, war. If war is the root word. Anti-war. Body, antibody. Social, anti-social. Biotic, antibiotic. Climax, anti-climax. Septic, antiseptic. Free, anti-free. Clockwise, anti-clockwise. Aircraft, anti-aircraft. Bacterial, antibacterial. Viral, antiviral. Dote, antidote. Do you know what is antidote? When we know that we are bitten by a snake or anything, then another poison will be injected to counter it. That is called as antidote. In Telugu we say virugudu. And antihistamine, which acts for allergy and itching. It can be used as medicine for allergy and itching. And anti-craft means the guns or artillery that is used against the enemy aircraft, especially in wars. So here anti means opposite meaning. So by adding anti, we made new words. In the same way, we can add even dis to make new words. For example, connect, disconnect, own, disown, similar, dissimilar, loyal, disloyal, like, dislike, appear, disappear, agree, disagree, qualify, disqualify, appointment, disappointment, obey, disobey, infect, disinfect, lodge, dislodge, honest, dishonest, embark, disembark. Even dis also adds the negative meaning. And some more derivational prefixes. In also gives the negative meaning. Complete, incomplete, dependent, independent, definite, indefinite, credible, incredible, considerate, inconsiderate, efficient, inefficient. Exactly the opposite meaning. Next, words with inter. National, international, mediate, intermediate, mingle, intermingle, mission, intermission, mittent, intermittent. And the next one is fore, ground, foreground, runner, forerunner, finger, forefinger, shadow, foreshadow, father, forefather, bear, forbear, boarding, foreboding. Next, sub. Structure, substructure, division, subdivision, marine, submarine, merge, submerge, heading, subheading, subject and subdued, subway. These are the words with using the prefix sub. And some more words with using super as prefix. Script, superscript. Impose, superimpose. Superintendent, supervisor, superficial, superhuman, superfine, supernatural, supermarket, superabundant, supercilious. And with un, we have already discussed the example unhappy, no? Unwanted, unpack, unhappy, unpleasant, unwell, unable, untidy, untrained, unlucky, unpopular, unseen, untrained, undo, untie, unusual, unpick. And the next one is en, adding en before the word. Encircle, engulf, enmesh, enrace, entangle, enlighten. And X, adding X. exit, exclude, expand, exclude, exhale, exhaust, exile. Like this, we can make new words by adding prefixes to the root words. And now suffixes. Suffixes are added at the end of the word. Prefixes are added at the beginning of the word, whereas suffixes are added at the end of the word. As we have already learned, only one prefix can be added to the root word, but many suffixes can be added to root word. CY, privacy, accuracy, delicacy, diplomacy, illiteracy, emergency, frequency, democracy, residency, occupancy, pregnancy, all ending with CY. And then AL, ending with AL, professional, tribunal, national, optional, personal, seasonal, arrival. And then ANCE, ANCE, acceptance, arrogance, appearance, performance, maintenance, inheritance, disturbance, tolerance, renaissance, resemblance, continuance. The next one is adding dom, DOM at the end suffix. Free, freedom, king, kingdom, star, stardom, bore, boredom, duke, dukedom, earl, earldom, fluff, fluffdom, serf, serfdom, sell, seldom, random. And then en at the end. Generally en is added for our past participle form. Warden, oxen, awaken, soften, straighten, sweeten, thicken. And ENCE, insistence, indulgence, consequence, absence, audience, convenience, silence, experience, patience, confidence, sentence, reference, essence, evidence, insistence, affluence, coincidence, sequence, and existence. Now some more words with the suffix let, let. Booklet, bracelet, anklet, platelet, pamphlet, coverlet, underlet, wristlet. By using all these suffixes, we can create new words. Hood, HOOD. Childhood, girlhood, brotherhood, sisterhood, motherhood, manhood, likelihood, livelihood, priesthood, fatherhood, knighthood, now ing. The suffix, adding the suffix ing. Painting, dressing, listening, talking, feeling, wedding, warning, looking, teaching, training, swimming, walking, jumping, running, singing. So many, all the verbs, if we add ing, then it is a ing derivational suffix. And ISM, realism, materialism, symbolism, modernism, idealism, nationalism, internationalism, communism, feminism, environmentalism, spiritualism, electromagnetism, surrealism, romanticism, criticism, agnosticism, and theism. And the next one ending with IST. Artist, journalist, feminist, nationalist, realist, theist, atheist, spiritualist, romanticist, surrealist, environmentalist, communist, internationalist, idealist, modernist, florist, materialist, psychiatrist, psychologist, receptionist, editorialist, technologist, nutritionist, ophthalmologist. By adding ist also we can make derivational suffixes. That is new words by adding suffixes to root words. And IVE, this is another suffix. Detective, secretive, active, sportive, distractive, passive, receptive, productive, creative, representative, discriminative, sensitive, interpretative, positive, negative, constructive, multiplicative, and non-destructive. And some more suffixes. Meant, government, shipment, assignment, arrangement, adjustment, payment, development, amazement, amusement, astonishment, nourishment, punishment. Next, ness. Adding ness as suffix. Darkness, harshness, illness, smartness, dullness, activeness, awareness, fullness, coolness, dryness, baldness, boldness, lightness, smoothness. And the next one is ship. Friendship, leadership, scholarship, citizenship, fellowship, warship, worship, internship, ownership, spaceship, ridership, courtship, steamship, kingship, lightship, judgeship, steamship. And next, ant. Adding ant. Attendant, assailant, abundant, ignorant, relevant, radiant, consultant, significant, vigilant, applicant, reluctant, expectant, tolerant, elegant, brilliant, redundant, dominant, predominant, instant, distant, important, observant, hesitant, pleasant, fragrant, and defiant. And some more suffixes. Er. Teacher, painter, reporter, watcher, writer, listener, speaker, reader, leader, ladder, producer, carpenter, painter, lawyer, liker, admirer, stronger, purer, cleverer, taller, better, singer. And all the adjectives, if you see, comparative degree adjectives. Cleverer, taller, all these are derivational suffixes. And then IAN, musician, egalitarian, utilitarian, librarian, libertarian, electrician, proletarian, antiquarian, academician. And next one is ARY. ARY as suffix. Missionary, visionary, dictionary, arbitrary, adversary, ordinary, extraordinary, secretary, stationary, necessary, beneficiary, summary, temporary, commentary, voluntary, imaginary, honorary, visionary, complementary, solitary, secondary, primary, itinerary, and intermediary. And then next, by adding S or ES, we can make nouns, singular nouns as plural nouns, and verbs also for third person singular. We add S or ES. All those comes under this. Sing, sings, bring, brings, cling, clings, like, likes, play, plays, dance, dances, and dances. And then read, reads, write, writes, speak, speaks, listen, listens, things, things, bush, bushes, push, pushes, rush, rushes, crush, crushes. All these are derivational suffixes. Now the second process of forming new words, that is abbreviations. We all know this very well. We generally use all these. Even for our college, we say GDCW instead of Government Degree College for Women. Now we call even our Commissionerate of Collegiate Education, we say CCE. All these are shortened forms. CM, Chief Minister, PM, Prime Minister, MLA, Member of Legislative Assembly, MP, Member of Parliament. All these are abbreviations. Let us see some example. Abbreviation is a shortened form of a word or a phrase. NAC. We got NAC B grade. It is written now. At the entrance itself it is written. NAC is, it assesses our grade for all the universities as well as degree colleges. NAC means the National Assessment and Accreditation Council. Its head office is in Bengaluru. And UGC, we get so many grants from UGC for our buildings and so on, infrastructure, etc. So UGC means University Grants Commission. And AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, like polytechnic colleges, AICTE, even engineering colleges, it gives grades to them. And UNO, United Nations Organization. UNICEF, United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. WHO, World Health Organization. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. NCERT, the National Council of Educational Research and Training. SCERT, State Council of Educational Research and Training. IBRD, we commonly call it as World Bank, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. These are the abbreviation. We shorten the form of the full word. And the next process of forming new words is acronyms. What is an acronym? It is an abbreviation formed from the initial letters of other words and pronounced as a word. The difference is it is pronounced as a word. Previously we know that it is abbreviated form, but here we pronounce it as a word itself, like radar. The actual word for radar is radio detecting and ranging. but generally we don't use that. We use radar as a word. In the same way, AIDS. The abbreviated form of the original form of AIDS is acquired immune deficiency syndrome, but we say AIDS as a word. NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Laser. Laser means light amplification by the stimulated emission of radiation. From that it got its name laser and it became a word. And ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. PIN, Personal Identification Number. SARS, Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. Recently we talked much about SARS and COVID. COVID-19, Coronavirus Disease of 2019. It also has become acronym. The next word formation process is clipping. What is clipping? Clipping is a word formation process which consists in the reduction of a word to one of its parts. One of a part will be cut. For example, it is also known as truncation or shortening. Clipping can be initial clipping. It also is called as foreclipping or apheresis. And it may be final clipping or apocope. And it can be medieval clipping, medial clipping or syncope, and or complex clipping. 4 types: initial, final, medial and complex clipping. First let us see what is initial clipping. Initial clipping retains the final part of the word. Initial clipping means the initial part is left out. Only the final part will be there in the word. For example, internet is the word. But what do we say? Is there net? We ask. Internet has become net. And we say, we don't say telephone. We say phone generally. Do you have a phone? We ask. We don't ask, do you have a telephone? Phone means telephone, it means. And varsity. In which varsity are you studying? That is the clipping form of university. This is the initial clipping. Initial clipping means initial part we leave and only the remaining part we take as a word. In medial clipping, the middle part of the words are left out. For example, spectacles. Spec and S at the end are taken and the middle one, tackles, we leave it. And mathematics, math we take and S we take, mathematics. And thematic, we leave it. And fantasy, we leave ta and it becomes fancy. Though there is a spelling difference, sy and cy, but the sound is same. Final clipping. Final clipping retains the beginning of the word. Final clipping means the final part will be eliminated and the beginning part will be there. For example, exam. Instead of examination, we say exam. And ad. How is the ad? We say advertisement. For advertisement, the word is ad. And have you gone to gym? We say gym means gymnasium. Gas, gasoline. Math, mathematics. Previously we told about maths. The British people say maths and Americans and Canadians say math. So it is here final clipping because it is not, there is no yes, no. If there is yes, it is medial clipping. And memorandum, memo from memorandum. Pub, pub means public house. Cable, from cablegram, only cable we say. And pop, we generally say pop music. Pop means popular music. And lab, we generally talk about have you gone to physics lab, is there lab now like that, laboratory. For laboratory we say lab. All these are the words that are formed due to final clipping. Now final and initial clipping may be combined and result in curtailed words retaining the stressed syllable of the middle part. For example, you see influenza is the original word. In influenza, what is the stressed part of the word is influenza, flu, influenza. So the flu is retained and the remaining will leave. And in the same way, refrigerator, frizz is the stressed part of the word. So this stressed syllable has become a new word, namely fridge. Nobody say refrigerator, everybody say frizz. So in the same way, detective, instead of saying detective, tech is used. And head shrinker means actually psychiatrist. Head shrinker has become shrink. And then in complex clipping, clipped forms are also used in compounds. Generally, one part of the compound remains without any change. For example, cablegram. It is formed from the words cable and telegram. Cable is as usual we take, and from telegram what we are doing? We are removing tele. So it has become cablegram. And then another word is op art. Op has come from optical and art is as it is. And org man we take as it is, and instead of organization we take org. And linocut means it is linoleum cut. Instead of that we say linocut. This is about clipping. Now let us move to blending. What is blending? Blending is a process of word formation in which parts of two or more words are joined together to form a new word. The new word is called as a blend. Usually the blend takes the beginning part of a word and the end part of another word. The beginning part of one word and end part of another word. Example, smog. Smog means smoke plus fog. It has become smog. And next, brunch. Brunch is a combination of breakfast and lunch. When people take brunch at 11 o'clock, neither it is the time of breakfast nor it is the time of lunch. So instead of avoiding both breakfast and lunch, they take brunch. And motel. Motel means it has come from motor plus hotel. Motor means moving. Moving hotel is motel. And transistor. Transistor has come from transfer plus resistor. In the same way, webinar. Now you are very familiar. Recently you are participating in so many webinars. What is the difference between regular seminar and webinar? The seminar conducted online is called as webinar. That is the difference. So web plus seminar is webinar. Emoticon. Emoticon is emotion plus icon. Daily we use so many emoticons, smileys. And when we send WhatsApp, if we like, we send smileys, no? These are all emoticons. And workaholic. It came from work plus alcoholic. Alcoholic means who has become addicted to alcohol. In the same way, if people are addicted to work means they are called as workaholics. And the next way of formation of words, next process of formation of words is onomatopoeia. What is onomatopoeia? It is one of the oldest methods of word formation in which words are formed in imitation of various sounds and noises. When we utter an onomatopoeic word, the utterance itself is a reminiscent of the sound to which the sound refers. For example, the word cuckoo refers to the bird that utters this cry. The cuckoo. Why it is called cuckoo? Its sound resembles cuckoo. And some more examples are words related to the sound of water. Splash, drip, drizzle, spray. And also words related to voice. Giggle, growl, grunt, gurgle, murmur, belch, chatter, blurt. These sounds come from the back of the throat generally. Words related to the sounds of collisions like boom, bang, clang, clank, clap, clatter, clink, jingle, ding, slap, thud. These are all basing on the sound these words are formed. Words related to sounds of air: gasp, swish, whip, whoosh, flutter, whisper. And animal sounds: buzz. This is honeybee's buzz. Cluck, cuckoo, hiss, snake hisses. Meow, cat mews. Quack, duck quacks. Tweet, birds warble. So all these words are created basing on the sounds and noises. The next one is compounding. What is compounding? Compounding is a process by which compounds are formed. A compound word is constructed from two or more words. These are two constituent parts of the compound. The one which carries the core meaning of the compound is the head, and the other word modifies the head. For example, bird, black bird. Bird is the head. Black is adding something to that word. Like that. Let us see some examples. Sunglasses, blackboard, newspaper, textbook, classroom, handbag, railway station, post office, bus stand, playground, homework, handmade, football stadium, window cleaning, life threatening, night driving, conscious stricken. Pickpocket, truck driver, short-lived, lawn mower, steel welder, energy boosting, sweet smelling, handwritten, man-made, well-matched, upload. Now let us see the origin of the phrases, how they originated at first. Raining cats and dogs means raining heavily. One explanation of the origin of this phrase is that it is derived from mangling a French word catadoupe meaning a waterfall. Since this expression sounds somewhat like cats and dogs, the latter, through its association with a waterfall which falls downwards heavily, became a part of the expression raining cats and dogs and came to mean raining heavily. Another explanation of the phrase is that in the dirty streets of 17th century England, heavy rain would occasionally carry along many dead cats and dogs and other debris. The sight of the dead animals floating in the rainwater must have led to the coinage of the phrase. The next phrase is crocodile tears. Crocodiles cannot shed real tears, but it is an ancient myth that the creature moaned and cried to attract sympathy and help and then snatched and ate its saviors while weeping. Therefore, crocodile tears became synonymous with feigned sorrow. Crocodile tears means feigned sorrow. It is proverbial that crocodiles cry like a person in distress to lure men close enough to snatch and devour them, and then shed tears over the fate of their victims. And the next one is a fish out of water. It means a person away from usual environment. English theologian and religious reformer John Wycliffe in his English works used the phrase as fish as without water. This phrase is widely used even today and describes anyone floundering in an element or environment to which he is unaccustomed and which he is practically helpless. The next phrase is acid test. Acid test means a test of reliability. This expression dates back to frontier days in America, when peddlers determined the gold content of objects by scratching them and applying nitric acid to them. Since gold, which is chemically inactive, resists acids that corrode other metals, the nitric acid test distinguished it from copper, iron, or other such substances. The term quickly became part of the language and came to mean a test of reliability. And the next phrase is hard and fast. It means fixed and definitive. Hard and fast rules. The Nautical Dictionary of William Henry Smith, the Sailor's Sword Book, describes the phrase as the one which is used to refer to a ship which is firmly beached on the land. Hence, over time, the phrase came to mean something which is fixed. And the next one is okay. It is believed that okay or okay letters, comes from the nickname of Martin Van Buren, who rose from a pot boy in a tavern to President of the United States in 1840. Of the many nicknames he earned, Old Kinderhook was the title bestowed upon the President from the name of his birthplace in Kinderhook. During that time, there was a phrase, all correct, a jokey misspelling of all correct, that was prevalent. This phrase was abbreviated as OK and got merged with the nickname of the president when his supporters formed the OK Club. And the next phrase is a sea change. A sea change. It means a radical change or transformation. This phrase was first used by a character named Ariel in Shakespeare's play The Tempest. Next one, senior citizen. Senior citizen means an elderly person or who is past the age of retirement. This is an American phrase which was coined in the year 1930 as a euphemism for old person. It has since spread to many other English-speaking countries. And the last one, beat around the bush. In bird hunts, some of the participants roused the birds by beating the bushes. So, beating about the bush was the preamble to the main event, which was the capturing of the birds. From here, the phrase came to mean not coming straight to the point. Someone is beating around the bush means he is not coming to the point straight. He is saying something else instead of the straight thing which he wanted to say. This is about the origin of phrases. And now let us recapitulate what we have learned till now. Today we have learned several processes of word formation such as derivation, acronym, abbreviation, clipping, blending, onomatopoeia and compounding. And we also have learned the origin of a few phrases like raining cats and dogs, etc. So what is word formation first of all? It is the process of the creation of new words. And derivation, it is one of the processes by which the addition of one or more suffixes or a prefix to the root word. The next one is abbreviation. Abbreviation is a shortened form of a word or a phrase. And the next one is acronym. It is an abbreviation formed from the initial letters of other words and pronounced as an individual word like radar. And next one is clipping. It is a process in which word is reduced to one of its part like exam from examination. In blending, parts of two or more words are joined together to form a new word like brunch. And in onomatopoeia, words are formed in imitation of various sounds and noises like cuckoo, meow, etc. And compounding is a process of the formation of compound words from two or more words like classroom, class teacher, blackboard, all the compound words. Playground, all this. And now let us resolve to in the previous class we resolved to get up early in the morning. And today we have to resolve to invest at least 1 hour of our time in learning English. Either by reading a newspaper or a book or a story or listening to English news, anything. Somehow you have to invest. It is not spend actually, investing, because it will yield result in future. Invest 1 hour in learning English. I hope you all will take this resolve and spend 1 hour out of 24 hours, only 1 hour. If you resolve, you can spend and become good communicators of English. So have a nice day. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you.